consumer inflation remains unchanged in June, while factory gate prices continue to decline. Official data shows China's small and medium-sized businesses posting steady recovery from COVID-19 related disruptions. Strengthening cooperation and partnerships topped the agenda at the 56th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting in Jakarta, Indonesia. From CGTN headquarters in Beijing, this is Global Business. I'm Michelle Vandenberg. We start our program with a look at the latest inflation data from China. The country's consumer price index was flat on a yearly basis in June, with a decline of 0.2% on a monthly basis. Officials from the National Bureau of Statistics said pork prices fell more sharply from a year earlier last month, although adverse weather and a rise in vegetable prices offset the drag on food prices. Meanwhile, China's factory gate prices in June fell by 5.4%, a wider decline than the previous month, affected by the continued decline in commodity prices such as oil and coal and the relatively high comparison base of the same period last year. Though last month's consumption figures showed a slowdown, certain shopping demands have surged alongside the summer heat. Our reporter Zhang Shixuan investigates the recent uptick in consumer trends.
Temperatures in Shanghai have been staggering around 35 degrees for several days now, creating a muggy plum rain season, and that's boosted the sales of products that help beat the summer heat. At this store in downtown Shanghai, products like small fans, sunscreen sprays, and cooling wet tissue are laid out in the most prominent display.
This is the first fan I've bought this year. It's pretty, cost 39.9 yuan.
It's small, I can carry it in my bag. It's too hot when I go to school and work.
Sales of mini fans have seen a year-on-year growth of 40% since the beginning of summer. This year, we've also got sun hats, summer slippers, and aloe vera skin cream.
In addition to the little summer needs, larger electric appliances are also popular. Air conditioners now account for around 65% of sales at this store in Shanghai's Global Harbor shopping mall.
People are more interested in green products that are highly energy efficient. These have a 10% subsidy from the Shanghai government, with an upper limit of 1,000 yuan. We've prepared more than 30,000 air conditioners in Shanghai.
Sales of cooling electric appliances including fans, refrigerators, and air conditioners jumped significantly on e-commerce site JD.com last month, more than doubling May's figure. And June sales of sunscreen products including umbrellas, summer clothes, and creams also sales rise more than 50% from the previous month. Some new trends are showing up.
In the electric appliances sales, 99.5% of the freezers are made domestically. 97.4% of the air conditioners are made in China. The consumer group has been expanding. People aged 26 to 36 account for more than 40% of the sunscreen cream buyers. And the number of consumers aged above 56 saw the fastest growth in purchases of cooling electric appliances.
Chai adds that the summer heat has also created hot demand for seasonal foods and beverages. Ice cream sales are triple the previous month, and sales of herbal tea and plum syrup are both up as well. Zhang Shixuan, ICS for CGTN, Shanghai.
Earlier, we spoke to Qin Quqiang, a research fellow at Beijing Foreign Studies University. He shared his thoughts on China's inflation data in June.
You have to consider the whole economic climate all over the world is getting a little bit of cooling down because China, as the largest manufacturing country, China's export and the manufacturing sectors actually are reflecting the whole climate in the economy of the whole world. So with the shrinking demand all over the world, I think the CPI and the PPI is keeping on a bit low as kind of a normal. And also, secondly, you have to take a look at the number of the energy sector. The energy sector, if you remember, the last year at the same time is just the outbreak of the Ukraine crisis, and that time energy prices just a soaring high, it's a skyrocketing high. So the year-on-year ratio means we're comparing today's number to the same period of time the last year. So basically, you are looking at we're comparing the number to the peaking number of last year. So that's a reason why we don't see the CPI growing up that quickly, and also we see the energy prices falling really, really quickly. But also we can see some other sectors is also keep on growing, keep on expanding. So I think this is actually still a very steady repairing of the economy.
Improving business data shows small and medium-sized firms in China are recovering steadily from pandemic-related disruptions. Statistics from the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology show electricity consumption by small and medium-sized companies grew more than 3% in the first 5 months of this year. Also, in the same period, small and medium-sized firms achieved a 1.4% growth in revenue. That was 0.7% higher compared with that in the first quarter. China's central and local governments have rolled out policies and subsidies to aid business recovery of small and medium-sized companies since the beginning of this year. Small businesses in China's rural tourism sector are also taking off in recent years as the country continues to vitalize the rural economy. Our reporter Zhu Zhu takes us on a trip to Longnan city of Jiangxi province.
Among Longnan City in Jiangxi Province, many villages investing in tourism to boost rural vitalization. Lintang Village stands out as one of the key demonstration villages. It is home to Hakka people, a sub-ethnic group of the Han Chinese. One of the most visited spots in the village is Qianxin Town. So this tourist spot has many unique traditional Hakka lifestyles. Well, me myself is also a Hakka person. Let's go check them out. For example, this is their traditional way of using fire to roast chicken. Making traditional Hakka food, glutinous rice cake. By leveraging Hakka folk customs and the abundant natural resources, Qianxin Town has created a leisure experience space that spans over 930 soccer fields in size. This strategic move has provided many job opportunities for local residents.
800 permanent employees in our tea plantations and another 200 in secondary processing and agricultural industries. Besides, our tertiary services and tourism industries, including hotel management, provides jobs for over 200 people. Many villagers who were unemployed before now have jobs in their hometown.
Nanlong City, also known as the world capital of Hakka round dragon houses, boasts an impressive 376 traditional houses, the most in the world. Among these unique structures is the Fozhiwei Roundhouse, located in Hangang Village in Longnan City, Jiangxi Province.
Originally, the roof often leaked because it was left unoccupied for a long time. After we replaced all the tiles, they look very beautiful now.
Wow, so this is a new B&B homestay that was redecorated from a traditional round dragon house.
The house's main structure has now changed. We still use mud brick walls. This room used to have 2 floors, but as guest room, the floor height was low, so we merged the 2 floors into one.
Renovating old dragon houses into bed and breakfast lodgings and tourist attractions has been an effective means of boosting the income of local villagers.
The villagers around us have provided rental properties for the past 20 years, charging rate 3 yuan per square meter. For instance, if a villager's house spans 100 square meters, the rental works out to 300 yuan per month. In addition, these villagers have the opportunity to work at our establishment. Moreover, when it comes to transferred land, if one were to invest in an acre of land, they could receive around 10,000 yuan in annual dividend income.
Zhu Zhu, CGTN, Longnan City in Jiangxi Province.
Many Chinese counties have become manufacturing hubs, bringing together determined small business owners with an open-minded approach at the local level. One such example is Caoxian County in Shandong Province, which rapidly transformed from a performing costume town to a manufacturing hub for Hanfu, the traditional dress for the Han ethnic majority during ancient China. By leveraging e-commerce, the small town has been successful in attracting college graduates to establish Hanfu businesses, contributing to its growth.
之前是做演出服的，年销售额嘛也是千把万的，也是比较不错的，比较稳定的哈。说实话，如果说做这个汉服真的要有什么一个起因和起点的话，那我们还是归结于疫情，什么集体活动啦，还有很多的学校啦、公共场合啦，都不让聚集了。那这样的话，对演出服行业它确实有一个很大的影响。我做的第一款汉服，如果说现在定义为汉服的话，当时我可能不知道它还是汉服。我认为它是古装影视服装剧衣服。从汉服第一件做的话，肯定先以设计为主，先是设计师把图稿设计出来，以什么元素的或者是什么形制的，比如说唐、宋、明、清，或者是元。在这个设计师在设计的时候，我们会有要求，我们要设计南北朝的，我要设计唐制的。初稿上面会有一些花型，还有设计的元素。这个地方再加花。这个元素的话，我们同时会去拿去制版，制什么？制绣花板。那绣花板制出来以后呢，就是绣花板和这个衣服制版是同时进行的。然后我们开始选一些面料，然后我们再去拿去印花，然后在这个过程中就是四方结合，结合完以后，然后同时把这款衣服再做出来。刚开始这个公司还没有，我最早的时候从一个小作坊做起的呀，是一个家庭小作坊，自己带着孩子、老人，然后自己去带着村里的妇女，然后去做。当时是自己建起来的一个房子，然后在这里的话，将近干了有1年多2年吧，2年，然后在这里自己盖一个小房子，然后在这个院子里搭了小棚子，然后在这里面自己裁剪、自己做衣服，然后让我们村里边的一些妇女来帮助扎衣服。就是从这里从演出服，然后一步步走向草线，然后到城里边，就这么做起来的。后来就发展到一个扶贫车间，政府给了一定的那个助力，然后给扶贫车间，然后我慢慢又做起天猫，然后自己开自己的天猫店，然后后边的时候自己就是开了线下的实体店，然后我们组建了自己的团队，然后我们甚至还有合作的绣花厂、印花厂，这个都是有的。
我是2014年那时候退伍，然后是在部队，当时是做营部文书，做那个政治教育课件，就是需要用到 PS， 然后就在那边就找别人学嘛。当时我们这边那时候转业是不安排工作的，然后就是回来以后，然后就是做这种和服装相关的产业，因为我们当地也没有什么别的可以做。
然后你要把这个花子再放进去。现在想的呢，就是通过我们自己本身原有的这个产业链哈，打出我们自己一些自主的品牌，那打出我们一些原创的产品。未来这个市场很大的，不用担心，加油，同行们。
You're watching Global Business, still to come. We'll look at the rapidly growing brain-computer interface market and explore how the technology can help people with disabilities or brain illness.
From the 1,035-kilometer railway linking China to Laos, facilitating connectivity and boosting economic growth in the landlocked Southeast Asian country, to the joint China-Saudi Arabia photovoltaic project to harness renewable energy in the oil-dependent kingdom. The Belt and Road Initiative has come a long way since it was first proposed in 2013, complementing the development strategies of partner countries and building on their existing strength.
开创合作共赢的新模式。
The Belt and Road Initiative, linking the world in the pursuit of common prosperity for humanity.
ASEAN continued to be China's #1 trading partner this year, as the latest customs data showed. Trade between the two sides secured a 2% growth in dollar terms for the first 5 months, despite weakening global demand. Indonesia, the host of this ongoing ministerial meeting and also the largest economy of ASEAN, has outperformed in regard to trade with China, with growth of 3.1%. Investment between the two countries was also going strong in recent years, mostly driven by China's outbound direct investment to Indonesia. Last year, China became the second largest foreign investment source for Indonesia. Southeast Asia is experiencing a financial transformation driven by the rise of digital payments, a trend that has been accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. As the impacts of this transformation continue to play out, Chinese mobile payment systems are leading the way in developing and advancing ASEAN's digital economy. Our correspondent Dusita Sakawa reports.
Cash is king, but its days are numbered. In the not-too-distant future, these will become relics, and doing this or this will become unnecessary. In recent years, Thailand has embraced a cashless society. From urban shopping centers to rural vegetable stands, it's just scan and pay. These two-dimensional images made up of a series of black and white squares have revolutionized how money moves in Southeast Asia's second-largest economy. It's improved the lives of many vendors like Rachani, where this newfound convenience translates into more sales.
Many customers just scan. If we do not accept Alipay, we cannot sell. Our revenue falls because Chinese tourists come to Thailand and spend a lot.
At the heart of the country's digital payments boom are Chinese mobile payment platforms.
China, because of the way they are doing things about technology, I think they're spearheading a lot of things, okay, including mobile cashless payments, okay, and that has trickled down, so to speak, into the tourism industry. It's a game changer.
China has leapfrogged the world when it comes to mobile payments. But for emerging markets in Southeast Asia, this transition to real-time payments is striking, particularly in nations where cash had a stronghold on the economy. In Thailand, more than 90% of total transactions are expected to be paid via online channels this year. This adoption of QR payments is one thing, but being able to pay across country borders is another.
A huge network that links up domestic payment systems is fast becoming a reality for 5 of Southeast Asia's largest economies. It will change the way tourists spend and travel. With a QR code facilitating payment, the process will feel no different from their usual domestic transactions, except it will just be in another country.
Instant, no fees, and generally at better conversion rates. It involves the central banks between two countries making a settlement agreement using their local currency, no longer through the US dollar.
It will facilitate the growth in trade, investment, tourism. Those are the elements that Asians are playing a big role today. Then, therefore, de-dollarization is going to be happening, be eroding the dollar dominance.
As ASEAN becomes increasingly economically integrated, mobile payments will accelerate the expansion of local companies, spurring economic growth, even where physical infrastructure lags, loosening their dependency on the US currency to grease the wheels of commerce. Lucita Saogao, CGTN, Bangkok, Thailand.
Now we take a closer look at a groundbreaking invention that may seem like science fiction to many, the brain-computer interface. Our reporter Yang Chengxi delves into the fascinating world of this cutting-edge technology and its potential to transform industries and revolutionize the way humans interact with machines.
Can we hook our brains to computers to communicate with our minds, control prosthetics, or even replay memories? These film plots that capture people's imaginations now seem to be a step closer to reality. This video has over 6 million views on YouTube. It's a monkey with a brain implant playing a video game with nothing but its mind.
The name of the technology is brain-computer interface.
To grasp the idea behind how it works, I visited a company in Hangzhou City and was welcomed by an employee who shook my hand with a robot arm.
I was injured when I was 12 years old and had to undergo amputation. Last year, I was fitted with this intelligent prosthetic hand.
The device incorporates a brain-computer interface and AI. It collects and processes electrical signals generated by human muscle movement to control the actions of the prosthetic hand. In 2019, it was recognized by Time magazine as one of the top 100 best inventions of the year.
I tried using a prototype. A smart band recorded biosignal patterns of my hand in various positions, after which the robot hand instantly started to mirror my movements. To demonstrate that it was indeed my brain that's controlling it, Mr. Zhou proposed an experiment.
好，你现在握拳。好，我现在抓住你的手。好，你尝试打开。你只要有那个想法，然后我们能提取到你的这个肌电信号，你就可以控制它。
This became more of an exercise of the mind than the arm. After a bit more practice, I got better at it.
Now, if I really concentrate, I can open this robot fist just by thinking about it.
Our next generation prosthetic hands will incorporate sensory feedback functions, allowing amputees wearing the prosthetic to perceive the textures and temperature of the world, making them feel like they truly have a hand.
Then we had a mini car race. The speed depended on how hard you focus your mind. Such is the basic idea behind brain-computer interface wearable devices. Record biosignals from the body, interpret them, and turn them into machine commands. But these wearables represent only one direction the technology is taking. My late grandmother fell victim to Parkinson's disease, a debilitating brain disorder that can reduce the strongest of people to someone unable to control the most basic of movements. There are high hopes that brain-computer interface technologies could offer a way to help Parkinson's patients.
There's a belief among some experts that to effectively treat more complex brain diseases using brain-computer interface, we must use brain implants. Currently, non-invasive wearables are considered a safer option for users, and the majority of BCI products available in the market are non-invasive. To gain a deeper understanding of this issue, our reporter Yang Chengxi spoke to several companies about the use and benefits of invasive brain implants.
This is an industry forum dedicated to brain-computer interface, and this year is its first edition. It is a testament to the fact that the technology is getting more established in China.
The majority of BCI products exhibited here are wearables. But I talked to several companies that focused on implants.
Why do you choose invasive implants over wearables?
It can extract richer brain information and complete more complex brain control functions.
That's a pretty visible cut on the skull there.
In fact, neurosurgeons have become quite adept at performing craniotomy surgeries over the past few decades.
Another company makes a contraption that looks quite a bit more aggressive. These two electrodes are connected to a microprocessor fixed on the skull. Mr. Sun's head is planted with one of them. He's been suffering from epileptic seizures and had developed tolerance for medicines. So he volunteered at a clinical trial in Zhejiang in 2021 and received the implant.
The microprocessors monitor the patient's brainwave activity in real time through the electrodes. When it detects abnormal brainwaves preceding an epileptic seizure, it delivers an electrical stimulus to suppress it.
The contraption is charged 3 times a week wirelessly by a cap linked to a power bank.
现在就是每天你有发作吗？
每天的话都会发作1-2次。1到2次。是1到 2秒之间。
一到2秒是什么感觉？
就是这个神经感觉抽动了一下，然后立马就消失。
What's the process like of getting an approval for clinical trials?
We have undergone scrutiny by regulators regarding ethics and technology and have obtained approval after conducting extensive animal experiments. We are the first in Asia to enter clinical trials for a brain-computer interface device for the treatment of epilepsy.
When I asked about future challenges, many companies and academic experts gave me a surprising answer. One of the biggest hurdles is neither the hardware nor software, but basic research.
Currently, we're still constrained by the limitations of basic research in neuroscience. In terms of our specific understanding of the brain, we're not yet particularly clear about the specific mechanisms of many functions in the deep brain regions.
This requires more effort by academia.
Yeah, because actually the brain is complex, and the brain was kind of taboo, and little research was in the brain before recent 15, 20 years. People was doing a lot of work with brain, but nothing invasive.
The long-term effects of these early successes are being closely monitored. The complexity of the brain is considered one of the final frontiers in understanding the human body. This field has a long way to go, but it's hard not to get excited about what it could achieve in the future. Yang Chengxi, CGTN, Beijing.
And that will do it for this edition of Global Business here on CGTN. I'm Michelle Vandenberg in Beijing. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.